The fact I'm making this video is so disappointing. So for those of you who've been living under a rock, just a few days ago Konami gave us a massive content update into Master Duel. They gave us some new packs, they gave us a new structure deck, they gave us some UI updates, just overall a massive update that was really nice for the game. It gave a massive boost to the player base, gave a ton of variety on the ladder, it was overall just an amazing update. Then a few days later, they had to go ahead and ruin it. I'm of course talking about the Fusion Festival. Well, Fusion might be a bit of a strong word, considering nobody is playing Fusion decks. Now some of you might think I'm exaggerating, like come on, there can't be that many people not playing Fusion decks in a Fusion Festival. Well, let me just go show you real quick. Alright, so here we are at the Fusion Festival. Now let me go show you my match history to show off all these amazing Fusion decks I've been playing against. Now at first glance you might say, holy shit, this guy is so bad, look how many games he's losing. And well, I won't argue that I'm pretty bad, but I will say that that's not the reason I lost these games. As a YouTuber, I was looking for replays that was specifically Fusion related, as otherwise it just makes for shit content for a Fusion Festival. So I was conceding against every single True Draco I came across, or just any deck that wasn't Fusion related. I'd just surrender as soon as the game starts. As soon as I saw they didn't have an extra deck, I'd just leave. So that's what most of these losses are. Now let's show you guys just how many Fusion decks I play against. Alright, so this game I actually stayed in it because I drew my Lightning Storm at the start of the game, was like, you know what, I'm gonna make this guy lose, so you can guess why he lost with his extensive Fusion monsters in his extra deck. Then we had this guy. Wow, that's a very interesting looking Fusion deck. Mataza the Zapper. I wonder what he's used a Fusion summon into with this extensive extra deck. Alright, what about this guy? Surely it wasn't 3 in a row, right? Oh look! Is that a Fusion monster? Oh my god, he was playing Fusion Destiny! This must be a great Fusion deck with these Time Lords and 600 trap cards. That's a brilliant Fusion deck. Alright, what about this guy? I think this guy actually was playing... Yep, this guy was actually playing heroes. There you go. So got beat fair and square by a hero player. Good on him. Good stuff. Now we go on to the next guy. Did we get 2 in a row? I mean, he's got Fusion monsters in his extra deck, but... Huh. He's running Fusion Destiny, but it seems like that's an Eldritch and a Skill Drain and triple... I mean, these doesn't look very Fusion-y to me. Maybe I'm really curious in how he's summoning this Gladiator Beast without any Gladiator Beasts? I don't know, maybe I'm missing something there. How about this guy? Okay, an actual Fusion deck, you know what? Good on him, must have beat my ass. We had this guy I think was also playing a Fusion deck. Good stuff. Then, alright, we're on a good streak here, guy. Ah, fuck. And there's... Alright. The next guy, surely he's playing a Fusion deck, though, right? No, that's True Draco again? Or the next one? I mean, can't be that many, right? I mean, it wouldn't be another one after that, right? That'd be so many in a row. Oh, it's no extra deck again. Huh. Yeah. So as you can see, I'm not exaggerating at all, and if you think somehow just miraculously I'm the only one being affected by this, or it's just completely unlucky on my part, here's a tweet from Distant Coder having the exact same issue. This festival is a joke. I just can't fathom that after the last event, which was absolutely hated and everyone complained about it, that somehow they just re-released the same problems. Like, how is True Draco still a thing? Like, what are these ban lists are driving me insane. Like, I personally don't feel like ban lists are necessarily the issue or the solution to any of these problems, but if Konami are going to use these ban lists as their solution, why are they so goddamn awful? Like, cards like the Monarch's Erupt, a card that cannot be used unless you don't have an extra deck. Why isn't it limited in an event where you are meant to be using an extra deck? Like, is this, like, rocket science? It's like, I can't fathom this. It's ridiculous. Like, I do get that it'll be near impossible with the amount of cards that are in Yu-Gi-Oh! That Konami will be able to ban every single card that would come up that would be problematic in one of these events. But at the same time, some of these cards are just really obvious, and the fact that they were used in the previous event so much and they're not banned in this one is just... it just makes no sense to me. And if the issue is that Konami is actually struggling to ban all these cards because there's just too many of them, why is their solution these ban lists? Surely this multi-million-dollar company can think of something else. The other issue I have with these ban lists is they seem to be taking them too seriously. Like, these ban lists are being used in like a competitive environment. So they don't want to completely kill off decks, they only want to weaken them, make some decks weaker than others. This is a for fun event. If a deck is not fun, has nothing to do with the event, why are you limiting it? Why aren't you just banning it? Why is True Draco limited? Why is Eldritch limited? Why is Megalith limited? All these decks have nothing to do with fusions. Why on earth are they just limited in these events? Why aren't they just flat out banned? I just don't get it. You don't need to worry about how they're going to affect the ranked ladder if you ban these cards, because it's not going to be part of the ranked ladder. So if you're banning these cards, it's going to affect absolutely no one on whether or not their crafting material was wasted or anything like that. It's just, these decks do not belong in a fusion event, so ban them. Don't limit them. The whole point of these limited things should be used on fusion decks that are too strong, not on decks that just shouldn't be in the event. If they shouldn't be in the event, ban them. Then they can't be used in the event. It's pretty simple. Cards like Skill Drain, limited to 1. Why? Who on earth thinks Skill Drain is a fun card? There are 0 people that think it's a fun card. I use it actively in Prank Kids. I'm a very big user of the card, and I agree, it is fucking awful. That card is horrendous. I don't mind it being on the ranked ladder all that much, especially if they decided to limit it in the future. But in this event, when it's meant to be purely for fun, this card has no place. 0 place. Get rid of it. Another great example, Anti-Spell Fragrance. This card, I didn't check if it was limited in the event, I just know someone used this against me, and I thought to myself, a card that forces you to set spell cards before activating them in an event where you're meant to be using Polymerization. Like, am I going insane? This is surely some obvious stuff on cards that, like, hey, this is a problem. If you're going to use ban lists as your solution, just ban them. Don't limit these cards, ban them. Get rid of them. Let this event be fun. This is ridiculous. At this point, I don't even blame the cringe lords who are playing these decks. I do think you're a bit of a dickhead if you do, but it's not your fault. That one is 100% the fault of Konami. It shouldn't be the community's job to make these events fun. That should be Konami's. I get it might be a hard thing to do, but this is a multi-million-dollar company we're talking about. A company that has multiple months sometimes in between these events, and that's so much time they could have for planning. If they can't fix these events after like the 7th time, there's got to be a bit of an issue here. Do I think Master Duel is dying at the moment? No. Not at all. I feel like as long as Master Duel is the officially Konami endorsed Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulator, it's probably going to have a really decent lifespan. But do I think Konami has just actively culled the player base completely with these garbage events and just massive time gaps in between content? Yes, 100% yes. This game could be so much bigger than it is. It annoys me to no end just how much Konami has messed up this game. It's going to have a good lifespan. But please, fix these events. Stop killing your player base. Stop making new people who come to play these games leave them straight away because they have to play against True Draco Simulator. Like, imagine a new player going into that. They're not going to hang around, they're just going to leave. Imagine you're a player that's just been grinding out the ranked ladder for a few hours, and you just keep coming across the same goddamn Tri-Brigade deck because Konami's ban lists are awful. Now imagine you want to escape that for a while, do something a little bit different, something a bit more fun, before you get back on the grind. What else are you going to do in Master Duel? You're going to jump into these events and then just play against True Draco Simulator? No. You're just going to close the game. Now that just does not sound like a good business plan at all, does it? Now if for some miraculous reason a Konami employee does actually stumble upon this video, I do have a suggestion. It's not going to be the godlike solution that's going to completely vaporize these decks from these events and make them 100% foolproof, but it's a good start. Make every single event mission fusion related. Enough of these normal summon this many times, destroy this many cards. Just make them completely fusion related. Attack this many times with fusion monsters. Destroy this many cards with fusion monsters. Fusion summon this many times in one game. There is so many you can come up with. Banish this many times with fusion monsters. I don't know, activate this many fusion monster effects. There's just infinite amounts you can come up with. Just make your event missions entirely fusion related. You guys don't have to keep banking on these really awful ban lists that have already proven to not really do a whole lot. I'm not saying you should get rid of these ban lists, in fact I think you should just update them so you're banning more cards rather than limiting them, because again, who wants to see a weakened version of True Draco in a fusion event? We just want the deck banned, same with cards like Skill Drain. But you don't have to just rely on these ban lists, you just have to incentivize players to not want to use these absolutely non-fusion decks. If you make it so that the people that are not playing fusion monsters in the fusion event are only earning gem rewards through the game wins alone, and not through the event missions, you'll find that it should be enough of an incentive that they're going to swap over and start playing fusion decks. Not all of them, like I said, it's not going to be the absolute foolproof solution that's going to solve all your issues, but absolutely gutting the gem rewards for people that are just not playing the event specific decks is just a good way to make people incentivized to just play the decks you're meant to be playing. At the end of the day, I'm glad Konami is actually giving us content to play with. But please, at least make this content somewhat enjoyable. Don't keep making the same mistakes over and over and over and over. It's getting really, really old at this point, and I do think it's having a negative effect on the player base. Please just fix it. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this little rant video. If you have your own thoughts or opinions that you want to share in the comments down below on these events, feel free to do so, especially if you have your own solutions you want to offer up. I'm glad to hear them. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the video, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, hope to see you guys in the next one. Laters.